Welcome to HDiiTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Yes, sir. So, Major League praise inclusion of Negro leagues. They finally put us in and they're finally recognizing us. Now, Buck Leonard, Charlie Chino Smith, Turkey Sterners, baseball players and fans alike are learning more about the Negro leagues after the statistics for more than 2,300 players. Historic figures like Josh Gibson, Oscar Charleston, Satchel Paige, and Mule Suttles were incorporated into the Major League Record Book following a 3-year research project. You get to learn about a lot of names and a lot of people that we may not have heard about. Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder Andrew McCutchen said Wednesday, now that Josh Gibson is at the top of OPS and batting average and a few other categories is great news, but it's more than just that in the numbers. It's great that you now get to learn about the players in the Negro Leagues. I'll be able to do some more deep diving into some names that I may not have heard of. A 17-person committee chaired by John Thorne, Major League Baseball's official historian, met 6 times as part of the meticulous process of examining statistics from 7 Negro leagues from 1920 to 1948. Nearly 75% of the available records have been included. According to MLB, an additional research could lead to more changes to the Major League leaderboards. It is really exciting, Cincinnati Reds pitcher Hunter Green said. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research and understand some of the history to kind of rewire my brain on some of the best players. Gibson became the Majors career leader with a .372 batting average, surpassing Ty Cobb's .367. Gibson's .466 average for the 1943 Homestead Grays became the season record, followed by Smith's .451 for the 1929 New York Lincoln Giants. Excuse me, guys. The mighty Gibson also became the career leader in slugging percentage, .718, and OPS 1.177, moving ahead of Babe Ruth's .690 and 1.164. Baseball history is part of U.S. history, and I think the major leagues acknowledging and incorporating the Negro leagues is a huge step into kind of bringing all the parts of baseball history together, said Tyrus Cobb, which is Ty Cobb's great-grandson. And I think it's actually pretty exciting that there's a new statistical batting average leader. After he saw the news, Tyrus Cobb, 32 of San Jose, California, said he took a closer look at Gibson's career. I made sure to look up him and Oscar Charleston and some of the other guys who finished up near the top of the list, said Cobb, who works in commercial real estate. So I think it's a really exciting thing for baseball history. The incorporation of Negro League statistics also changed the numbers of handful of players known more for their major league career. Willie Mays added 10 hits from the 1948 Birmingham Black Barons, increasing his total to 3,293. Manny Minoso is credited with 150 hits for the New York Cubans from 1946 to 1948, boosting his total to 2,113. Jackie Robinson, who broke the major color barrier with the 1947 Dodgers, was credited with 49 hits with the 1945 Kansas City Monarchs. That increased his total to 1,567. It is a good thing for the game, Washington Nationals pitcher Josiah Gray said. For the Negro League players in the past who were exceptional for what they did, it is good to be drawn into the light. It is really cool to see Josh Gibson, Oscar Charleston, and a lot of other names that baseball fans can learn about, and for them to see there was more than Major League Baseball back then. The change comes with the majors experiencing a decline in black players. A study by the Institute for Diversity and Ethics in Sports at Central Florida found black or African American players represented 6.2% of players on opening day rosters in 2023, down from 7.2% in 2022. Both figures were the lowest since the study began in 1991, when 18% of Major League Baseball players were black. The St. Louis Cardinals and San Francisco Giants play a tribute game to the Negro Leagues on June 20th at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. I think it's a pretty cool thing that you show recognition, Giants pitcher Jordan Hicks said. It was two different leagues, but it's still baseball at the end of the day. And then whenever they came together, you saw the guys that stood out in the Negro Leagues really performed in MLB. So I think it's fair that if they were still the same guy in the Negro Leagues as they were in MLB, those stats should match up, especially if it was in the same era. Brett Tinker, 56, of Nyack, New York, heard stories about the Negro Leagues from his grandfather, Harold Hooks Tinker, a Birmingham, Alabama native who played for the Pittsburgh Crawfords. Harold Tinker shared his love for the sport. He told his grandson about how they often had to stay on the team bus because they couldn't go into a hotel. And he also showed off his memorabilia collection. When Brett Tinker heard about the incorporation of the Negro League statistics, he was moved to tears. It's an honor. It's overdue, not just for my grandfather, but a lot of those players who never had that chance to have that recognition, he said. And it's the truth. Now, all of a sudden, they want to do all this stuff for the brothers when y'all kick the brothers out the game. The reason the statistics are down for the brothers is because they don't want us in the game. They didn't want us getting these big contracts like their counterparts are getting. They didn't want the increase. They didn't want baseball to look like the NBA or football when it would have been that. We dominated baseball. That's why I told everybody Josh Gibson is the greatest baseball player ever. Period. I told people that. Barry Bonds is my favorite, but Barry Bonds was better than Babe Ruth. He was better than a lot of these guys. Babe Ruth is great. Don't get me wrong. I give respect due. It ain't about black or white. Babe Ruth can play. But a lot of people don't give Babe Ruth credit because he never went against the brothers. He never went against us. He never went against us. He never showed that he could translate that against us or other people that play ball. And, you know, that's the thing I try to tell people is that the getting us out of the game has really hurt baseball. That's why baseball has not been the same. When we were dominating in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s or mid 2000s, baseball was thriving. Then they came with the little steroid BS when they were promoting the steroid era. And the thing is, you should have never got rid of players because of the steroids, because what we found out, see, this what made them mad. Pitchers were taking steroids more than the damn hitters. And see, the pitcher position is sacred in baseball. They wanted to stay white. But I told people, Satchel Paige would have outthrew Nolan Ryan any day of the week. Period. He would have outthrew him. He would have outthrew that man. That man would never have stood a chance against a Satchel Paige. But they priced us out of baseball. They made all the equipments where it was so high to play. Like they put the pricing up so we couldn't go play for the gear, for the cleats, you know, for the stuff we needed. Then the baseball diamonds, they've stripped them down in a lot of the urban neighborhoods or the Negro neighborhoods or the nigger neighborhoods, they like to call it. So that's the problem. That's the big problem. They did us dirty, and now they're finally giving us our recognition. And Josh Gibson was better than Babe Ruth. I told somebody that. I'm like, dude, do you know if Josh Gibson would have been allowed to play in the Major League Baseball, he would have destroyed you guys. They didn't want that. They've always been scared of us. They've always been inferior to us in anything. They've always been that way. Whether we were mixed kids, which all the light-skinned brothers like myself, we're mixed because we have a family member down the line that's white. because they dangled with the soul pole. And then we got our dark skinned brothers who, to me, I tell people they're the kings of the world. They're closer to the land more than us. So that's the stuff that people need to start to look at and realize, and what we need to start paying attention to. We have to start paying attention to our history, and we don't do that enough. We're too busy trying to flaunt their history that we don't talk about our history. Like the movies we make. We make movies we make movies about the hood and making us look bad. But when we make a movie like a Black Panther, or we got a lot of indie comic books out here, a lot of indie books out here that just doesn't deal with superheroes. It deals with Black excellence. But do we promote it? No, because we're too busy going to run over here and promote Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, or going over here to support their type of genre. And it's not, this isn't a dig at white people. People always think, oh, you played a race card. No, I'll stop talking about race when you stop talking about race, when the government stop talking about race, when all these big sports institutes stop talking about race. Basketball is racist. Football's racist. Baseball is definitely racist. Baseball more racist than both of them leagues. NHL is too. They don't want no brothers. We done had some brothers playing NHL who did their thing, but do they promote them? No, because they don't want none of you niggas in their sport. And that's the facts. Hockey, they can fight, they can throw hands. You think they're going to allow that in the NBA or NFL? No. Because we got to be kept in a cage. We got to be controlled. That's what we got to do. Conor McGregor can go out here, throw stuff at a tour bus, threaten him and his family, endangering them, doing all this buffoonery. That doesn't get talked about. That's praise. John Morant flashes a gun. Even though it's wrong, I admit it's wrong. You shouldn't flash no gun unless you have to use it. But he's villainized. He's the worst thing since sliced bread. He ain't shoot nobody. He ain't kill nobody. He ain't do none of that stuff. But because of his ethnicity, hey, F it, right? And why is baseball doing all this now? You know why they're doing this now? Because they're trying to get brothers back watching the game, because their numbers ain't really that high. Nobody watches baseball. Everybody, the only time people watch baseball is when it get close to the playoffs. Because baseball, they play like 100-some games. And you could do that in that type of sport, because that sport's not as grueling as football or basketball on your body. So that's the things that I'm proud of, that now the younger generations of brothers and sisters can look at this and be like, man, I could play baseball. You have a chance to play baseball. You could play baseball. You feel me? And that's something. Oh, Atlanta Dream 3-2. Okay, I forgot about the Dream, but see, they don't show their game. I'm talking about WNBA guys. I'm hooked. I'm gonna do my review on that going to work. Cause Mystic should have won this game. They got screwed on some calls down the stretch. And then they're young. They just once they start to click, they're gonna be dangerous in the next few years. They got something there though. They just got to keep building on it. New York just got a squad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Oh, they play at Chicago again, so they're gonna want that rematch. And they play at Connecticut. All right. But yeah, that's the thing that I'm talking about with baseball doing this. This is great that they're doing this. They're finally recognizing the brothers, and they should have been recognizing us. That's why I tell people I love Jackie Robinson for him breaking the color barrier, but Jackie Robinson was nowhere near the best player in the Negro Leagues, bro. He wasn't. He was nowhere near it. Like, he was solid. Jackie knew how to play the game. Jackie's nice, but he knew how to play the game, like talk to them white folks, and he knew how to cross over. Sagil and Josh ain't on that. They ain't on that. But that's something that I love and respect. I'm glad they're doing this, man. Is way overdue, and man, love it. I'm glad they did it. So, thank you guys, man, for listening and supporting the page. I try to put out videos. My views are probably going to be low because I ain't putting out real long videos. But thank you guys for your support, man. And this is big. Like, we needed this. We needed this. Like, big time. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for your love. Make sure you like the comment. If you want to donate, I got the Cash App in the description box. You can also super chat. I also got Zelle in the description box. You guys can sign up. You guys can also, super chat when the video's live or premiere. You can super thanks, but just make sure if you're not going to donate, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Also, we got the Patreon, $3 a month. I'm about to drop something in a minute over there. Make sure you guys check out the Patreon. I put some good stuff in there for y'all. Also, I'm on rumble.com. Make sure you guys go check it out. Get the app. It's better with the app. And you guys can check me out, man. Check the videos out. I do content over there as well. So, make sure you check it out, man. Thank y'all for listening. I'm out. Shout out to Sino and Jags, Sports, Scrub, Leaf Diggy, the Mac Mizzle Show, Strictly Unapologetic, One True Emperor, MDT Sports, Jeff Bone the Bonehead, who did it this time. Shout out to all y'all brothers, man. And I'm out. Deezy.